Well, a warm welcome to you all to this, the 10th in our series of RHEA Talk webinars. This one to discuss careers in cybersecurity. You may know that we've already discussed various aspects of cybersecurity on previous webinars, including use of cybersecurity for training and other aspects of cybersecurity career development. So if you're interested in viewing a recording of this or any previous webinars, please visit the media section of our website on www.rheagroup.com. Now to the webinar. Firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is John Bone, Chief Commercial Officer for RHEA Group, and I will be your facilitator for today's session. Please use the Q&A area in your Zoom app down here somewhere to post questions to our panel, which I will ask after an initial discussion. If your question is targeted at a specific member of the panel, please make this clear in your question. So talking of the panel, today I'm joined by 4 distinguished panel members who are here to discuss the career opportunities available within the cybersecurity sector and how candidates might enter this market if they are looking for a career development or a career change. So let me please introduce the panel. So firstly, I have Matteo Marialdo. Matteo is Security Deputy Business Unit Manager in RHEA Group. He has a wide experience in cybersecurity product development, including cyber ranges, dynamic risk assessment, and information sharing. As a project manager, he led many multi-million research and innovation projects for the European Commission and the European Space Agency. Among other activities, he's currently technically leading the Horizon 2020 project ECHO. This is a large initiative aimed at developing a European-wide network of cybersecurity centers. So welcome, Matteo. Next, we have Rafael de Castro. He is one of our SOC analysts at RHEA Group. He worked and studied in the Portuguese Navy as an engineer, and after his military experience, he pursued a cybersecurity career, starting as a cybersecurity analyst at the Ministry of Internal Affairs Security Operations Center. He then moved to Belgium to join RHEA Group as our first SOC analyst at RHEA's Security Operations Center in Redu. Next, we have Consuelo Calabuono. She started her journey in security and privacy immediately after her studies in information technologies. After 4 years of experience in governance, risk and compliance, she joined RHEA to develop her career further, as she was interested in challenges and opportunities offered in the space sector around cybersecurity. So welcome, Consuelo. And last, but absolutely by no means least, we have Jiri Kutcha. He's been in the recruitment business for over 10 years, recruiting, leading teams from small to large corporations, specialized in IT recruitment, and the last 3 years dedicated to cybersecurity recruitment across all the countries within the RHEA Group. So for you who are not familiar with the RHEA Group, we are a security and space engineering services company with over 750 employees across Europe and Canada. So RHEA's focus is to add value to our customers through the delivery of specific expertise, technologies, and techniques. So today we're here to discuss one of those key areas of expertise that we provide to our clients, that is in protecting their cyber environments from a variety of projects and needs that our clients have. So with that in mind, Matteo, just initially to set the scene, could you give us an overview of RHEA's experience in the cybersecurity domain and the type of cybersecurity activities that we get involved in here at RHEA?
With pleasure, John. So I joined the company in the end of 2013 when basically the security services division was born. So I really followed all the history of what we did since the very beginning, and I was an employee. Now I'm leading all the engineering and products department, and the story is indeed quite interesting. We passed from a couple of people at the business unit up to now that we are more than 17, 11 countries. So the growth went quite substantial, and it was interesting because we started the first year were really the experimentation years. So we started working on a set of European Commission projects, European Space Agency projects. We mainly the goal to understand the market, to understand the technologies, and to build a core capacity, a core staff from which to start building commercial services and services for institutions. And I have to say that most of the people that we hired during this period are still in the company, and they're still in in my business unit. So during those first years, we started exploring concepts like risk assessment for complex systems, security by design, dynamic risk assessment, cyber threat intelligence, and generally in a more research and innovation context. Then at the end of 2017, we decided that we were grown enough and we had enough capacity and capability within the team to make the step towards the commercial world. And then we divided the team into two branches: engineering and products, which I'm leading, and services and operation. And in this way, we could have, and we still have now, and is working pretty well, engineering and products leading from a research and innovation perspective and a solution perspective, and services and operation on the delivery side. So from an engineering and products perspective, the main goal was to develop from one side solutions, like, for example, our CyberEdge solution, which is our flagship, which is going also pretty good in the market, I have to say. And but to keep alive the research and innovation part. So basically, throughout all these years, we work on all the hot topics in cybersecurity. So we take, for example, zero trust technologies, radio frequency security, security for space, of course, is one of our core competencies. Cyber certification, Consuelo within the panel is quite an expert on cyber certification for products, application of artificial intelligence on cybersecurity, and several others: blockchain, NFTs, quantum key distribution, etc. So for all of these, we developed capabilities, and then in the most promising cases, we transfer those capabilities into products, engineering solutions, and services. On the other side, my counterpart leading the service and operation developed the services aspect, so the classical consultancy service, risk assessment, vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, and so forth, usually giving a good flavor on critical infrastructure and space, which is one of our key knowledge, if you want, and competencies, but also opening to our two main areas, which is cyber training, of course, using our CyberEdge technology, and Security Operations Center that we opened a few years ago and where Rafael is currently working. So basically, from an end-to-end perspective, we cover the whole spectrum, but it's not only about services and commercial activities that we do, it's also a lot about research and innovation. So I think that for a new employee, and both junior and senior, there is a space for everybody. There is space for who wants to study and to research and to go over the state of the art. There is space for who wants to focus on the commercial and on the B2B business, if you want. And also for a junior is a great place where to learn, basically where to grow experience, and then starting maybe in a specific subdomain of cybersecurity and then go to other subdomains. So in general, it's quite end-to-end, and it was for me was really a very interesting experience, and is still nowadays a very interesting experience.
Okay, thank you, Matteo. Interesting. So so maybe Rafael, you could help me here. Either Matteo was saying about the lack of turnover of staff. Maybe that's because we lock everybody up and don't let them out, or the work's quite interesting. So could you tell us the role of a SOC analyst, which is what you're engaged at the moment, and also maybe the flexibility of that RHEA offers in terms of visiting different customer sites and the type of work that you get involved in?
Sure, John. Hi. So I'm Rafael, as you know. John already introduced me. Thank you. Actually, I'm in RHEA since June 2019. I was recruited by our colleague Jiri. Thanks. And so basically, to answer to your first question, that actually we mentioned in our LinkedIn, what SOC analyst does. I will show you just a high picture of that to the most junior people that could be watching us. So basically, you work in a security operations center. a place, could be bigger or smaller depending on the size of the company, where usually you have like a video wall with a lot of graphs or a lot of computers, and usually you have a tool called CM, System Information and Event Management, where you aggregate all the logs from the log sources that you or your team selected to forward towards the program, and this facilitates the job of a SOC analyst. How? Because aggregating the logs in one component, and instead of checking the logs on each security component, like for example a proxy, a firewall, a router, your computer, for example, etc. The SOC analyst usually stays on a desk checking the alerts that could be pop up on that program. Why? Because the program correlates all the logs, and based on the rules that you build on the program, it will trigger some alerts. But this is being passive. A SOC analyst also, and actually that's what I like. It's kind of detective. So you also need to be proactive. You always need to try to find what is not in the baseline, what is not normal. So basically, this is more or less an explanation of what a SOC analyst does. And of course, always we need to follow our guidelines, our procedures from our company. So how to respond to a real alert, because we need to triage them, especially if you are like a SOC analyst level 1, tier 1. You need to distinguish what is real and what is not real, like what is if it is a false positive, and if it is a false positive, you need to know why, and if you need to tune the rules or not. So basically, this is a quick reply, and after you can pose me some questions regarding this.
Okay, and what about the flexibility that you've had with RHEA in terms of moving around?
So actually, it depends on you. So it's the truth is depends on what you like. Personally, I love it because I'm a guy. So like you said, I've been in the Portuguese Navy, and usually in every Navy or armed forces, you are usually a guy that likes challenging, being agile, you know, to adapt quickly to new environments. And in RHEA Group, like Matteo said, you have a lot of projects. So it's like having more or less a lot of job opportunities within RHEA Group. And I really love that. So at the moment, and if you join us as a SOC analyst, you have the opportunity to do what I am doing. So working for the Security Operations Center of RHEA Group. And then I'm also going to a client called Galileo Security Monitoring Center, GSMC, which belongs to USPA, the European Union Agency for the Space Program. And there in that client, for example, you always need to travel because they have offices in Paris, in Madrid, and it's quite funny because a lot of ex-colleagues or a lot of colleagues in RHEA and also in the client are ex-military. So you can define the pattern, and it gives you, how can I say, you don't get bored easily, you know, here, because you always do a lot of different tasks, not always the same task.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rafael. I'm sure there'll be lots of questions coming in for you. And just a reminder, the Q&A button down here, if you want to pose some questions to our panel, just click on that, ask your question, and I'll come to that after this initial discussion. So next we have Consuelo. So Consuelo, I think your camera's been quite secretive, actually. I can see you now, but you keep coming in and out. So let's see if we can keep you on screen for a while. So yeah, could you tell us a little more about why you chose a career in cybersecurity, particularly within the space sector, and your experiences, and perhaps also elaborate, because I'm looking around the panel here, and we're all male, and you're the only woman in this panel. So how have you found this working in what is traditionally, let's say, a very male-oriented environment?
Yes, thank you. So starting from the first part of the question, as you mentioned, I am a cybersecurity and privacy analyst working for RHEA Security Services for the past 5 years. and I'm applying my knowledge of cybersecurity both in risk assessment projects for the space sector, but also in research and innovation projects. But from where I started, even if at my high school I studied the languages, after I simply wanted to exploit my analytical skills. So I was fascinated by cybersecurity because it is central to every industry. And
oh, we're having some interference. Consuelo, can you hear us okay?
Yes. I hear you, but the camera is flipping.
I think we've lost Consuelo for the moment. Ah, you've come back. Okay, I can see you again.
If I put the background, like it's not working.
Okay, try again. Let's see if we can come back to Consuelo. Just come on to Jiri now. So Jiri, is there any? We'll come back to Consuelo in a moment when she comes back online. So Jiri, is there any advice you can give to those who want to apply for a position in cybersecurity? And what type of roles are available, and how cybersecurity could be a good stepping stone for those leaving one career, perhaps from the military, moving into a, let's say, a non-service career? You're on mute, Jiri. So we're having lots of microphone problems today. You're still on mute? That's better. Yeah, I got you now.
Hi, John. Sorry for that. So first of all, let me tell you, I'm very delighted to be here with experts like Matteo, Rafael, Consuelo. It's been a pleasure. I've been working with RHEA for almost 4 years, mainly working alongside with Matteo. We work on many projects. From my side, of course, I was there involved as a recruitment person. Now I'm working more as a recruitment business partner, so also advising and coordinating resources. So to your first question, John, what would be the advice for people who don't necessarily have the education background? So I've seen many discussions on this topic because this cybersecurity is a buzzword these days, and but there could be of course there's a few ways how to get in, but there's one that most experts are agreeing on, and they simply say try and pick up on programming language. The best one would be to learn Python. It's easy to read, easy to write. You find out, you feel out the whole process. You know the integrations with other software, and it will teach you fundamentals. So they're saying basically to start with that, and then they are advising to go for the CompTIA A+ certification, which is basically entry-level computer certification for PC computers. So that's another step. Then of course you need, as a cybersecurity person, it's always good to have a network background. So CCNA, the Cisco Certified Network Associate certification, is also very nice to have. And then we go to system administrating, so you can have Red Hat certified system administrator license, and then you can go to CompTIA Sec+, which basically takes you to security certification. But the basic one, it teaches you the fundamentals of the cybersecurity. And we as a RHEA, we always take a look at the certifications. We like certifications. So that's just a good way how to get in. Then you can add on cloud technologies like Amazon Web Services. That's a huge plus. And then you can start with some more advanced stuff, like you can go for the cryptography, Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, etc. So this is what would my advice be? So if you're not having the computer science degree in cybersecurity or IT, I would not spend 4 years getting the degree. I would probably go this way with learning the language and those certifications. I think there's a higher chance, also the less time to get to your wherever you want to go in cybersecurity. To your second question, John, about the diversity in roles available right now, that what RHEA Group is proposing, we have many roles open. You can actually check out our website, RHEAGroup.com. We have a carry section. We also have a specialized section for just cybersecurity roles. We have currently 17 roles opened, and it varies from application security, forensics, incident response, network security, security architecture, vulnerability management, information security, and also we have like administration support roles in cybersecurity, like project management, cybersecurity, big manager, etc. So there's lots of opportunities. I really, if you want to check them out, that'd be nice. We are currently building a huge security operations center in Belgium, in Transine. There will be a huge demand for SOC analysts, mainly level 1, level 2. So the stuff that I talked about just like a minute ago, could be very, very helpful to you who don't have the, the necessary degree. To your third question, John, about like how cybersecurity can be a good stepping stone for people, for example, from the military, where Rafael was working before for the Portuguese Navy. There's a really good trend and pattern indeed. It's basically they're already working for the critical infrastructures. There are certain rules, restrictions, and it helps to those working in military to understand in a better way than people from, let's say, commercial sphere. So that's the first already a good positive thing that they can take from the military background. Then they also have touched some classified information. So they also teaches them a sense how to treat the classified information, and some of them are also security cleared, which is very important for RHEA Group. We are working with lots of classified information, so we're clearing almost most of the employees that we have. So that's also helps. So they coming from the security security clearance background, that also very much helps it. Today I was just browsing the internet and I found the platform online. It's called With You With Me. It's actually online training platform that can upskill people, especially talented military professionals. So if you're from military, you can check it out. But of course, you can also check with me. You can check with anyone that you see here on the panel. If you think you have the right skills, you can always get back to us and ask us what the best path for you might be. And I'm telling you, there are many paths you can take to get into cybersecurity. So that's probably the answers for your questions, John.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jiri. Thank you. Consuelo, I see you again. So hopefully, if you could recap from where you left off regarding your career in cybersecurity, why the space sector? Oh.
Yes, I was explaining that we switched from languages to cybersecurity. Yes. Because I wanted to exploit my analytical skills, and also because I was fascinated that cybersecurity is transversal to every industry, and I need continuous learning. So these two aspects keeps me engaged and motivated. But in particular, during my career path, I looked at the space sector because it's a dynamic one, and there is a lot of opportunities across Europe to work in different roles, not only the traditional engineering one, and indeed RHEA provides the opportunity to work in different teams, and also in the space sector is very important the innovation, and RHEA is always committed in this direction, anticipating the future needs and opportunities of the European landscape. So I believe that space we have an increasing importance, not only for its impact with respect the link with other sectors, but also from a geographical, political, let's say, point of view, for example, cyber war. So I like very much these opportunities also because of the environment, because I work with a team made up of people of all ages and from different countries. So I like the challenge of use also my soft skill to interact with colleagues with so many different technical backgrounds and cultures. And remembering also the second part.
We lost you for a moment there. I think you're back again. Oh, we've lost you a little bit, Consuelo. We lost you a little bit after your different backgrounds and cultures. We got. It's very fuzzy at the moment. You try again. I'm sorry, you're breaking up a bit, Consuelo. So thank you for that anyway. I think you've given us a good picture of what a career in RHEA can offer, and the reason why you went into that in the first place. And the variety of people that you work from, even from young to the old guys like myself. So that's a really good picture. So we've got a couple of questions coming in, and the first one is targeted for you, Jiri, and I'd like to elaborate this one a little bit more. So we've shared the link to the careers jobs within RHEA and the 17 roles that you mentioned there. And the question we've got, there's a lot of interesting jobs in Canada. Is relocation possible from Belgium to Canada? And I'd like to elaborate that a little bit further in terms of the locations where these roles are. I mean, if we have individuals who are working in one country, is it possible for them to move to another country?
Yeah, I understood the question well. So basically, the relocation in general is possible, and this is what we do with most of the new hires. Of course, it's much easier to relocate someone within the European Union, as I mentioned also about the security clearance aspect. So if you are working in Canada, most likely, basically in Canada, we have lots of cybersecurity projects as well, and you are coming from Europe, it's not likely that you will get a clearance. So if you come across a position where you don't need a security clearance, then of course, in general, the relocation is possible. But for European Union, of course, we are doing this. I would say in my, from what I remember, I think I'm relocating at least 60% of all the hires for the cybersecurity.
Okay. I mean, I am aware that, for example, Consuelo, you must have relocated for your role, and I think I first started working with you when you were in Belgium and now you're in Italy. Could you give a bit of a comment on how you found that relocation and flexibility?
Yes, in general, I think it's very important, this possibility, because allows you to follow your natural career path, obviously with a win-win approach, with opportunities of improvement both for the personal side and also the company side. And I think this is very easy to do if you are working in a company that has this strong identity of a multicultural organization and working at a European level. And I think this in general improves a lot the competencies and the collaboration between all people in RHEA around the Europe and Canada, and we know each other. We are like a family, and there is always this attention and consideration to the employee to combine the career path and the company development.
Okay, thank you, and maybe just elaborating a little bit further for Matteo. Just travel in general. I think what we've offered in RHEA is this ability to move around to different sites and to different customers, as Rafael mentioned. But in terms of traveling and seeing different parts of the world, Matteo, I think you get involved in a number of different projects where you can do that.
Well, yes, that's a very nice part of the job. And the interesting thing is that it's not only for managers or directors, etc., because basically most of my team, especially the one involved in big collaborative projects, they travel quite a lot. For example, Consuelo in a couple of weeks goes to Bulgaria. I will go to Estonia next week with other colleagues, etc. And that's the nice European dimension, and not only European, but definitely European dimension that the company has. So not only we have offices in 10 countries in Europe, but we also deal with most of the member states of the European Union and UK, and we do research, we do commercial, we do almost everything. So that's a very nice part of the job, which of course during the pandemic went down, and then we had to use telecommunication means, but now we started again, and that's a very nice part of the job, considering also the fact that for some parts it's possible to work from remote, and then getting a little bit of flexibility, which is quite important in the world after the pandemic, if you want. But the good thing is that at least for what regards my team, travel is a very important aspect and element. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Matteo. A couple more questions coming in. You alluded to it there, Matteo, but I'd like to pose this one to Jiri to start with. I'd like to ask whether remote hybrid working is supported. I guess it depends on the role, Jiri, but could you elaborate?
Yes, the remote work and smart working, we all know what happened during COVID, so it helped the case, of course. But now we're coming back to the offices, and so it really depends on the position, and we are operating in 11 European countries. So it's really tough to say. It's really tough to put any a rule on that. It's really individual. So, but it's always mentioned in the job description.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And then the next one, I'm going to start with Rafael on this one, because I know that you've been in a number of different customer sites. So is a local language obligatory, or is English a good language to use?
Yeah. So I never needed to use other language than English while I was working at RHEA, and also in our with the experience that I have. Maybe there are some clients where the Spanish will help, or French, and it's always good. Actually, this is a good thing of RHEA. For example, when I go to the client, I have a lot of Spanish colleagues, Romanian, Italians, so French. So actually, you can always learn with them. But if you know English, it's enough to go.
Okay.
You don't need more.
And Consuelo, I mean, working in RHEA in both Belgium and Italy, and a number of different clients in Bulgaria, just mentioned. Do you need a number of languages? Is it useful?
It's useful only for personal point of view, psychological point of view, because perhaps you can speak the native language of your client or of your colleague, and this is automatically feeling you more close to the person you have in front.
Yeah, no, that's true. So let me try. Who should we try for this one? Jiri. Let's start with you for this one. Are your customers exclusively in the space sector? So the roles that we have at the moment, are they exclusively space sector roles?
No, it's not exclusively in space sector. We are also working with ministries of European countries. We are working with commercial. We are starting to have commercial clients as well with the products that we have in cybersecurity. So yeah, the simple answer is not only space. Yes.
Okay, and Matteo, maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on, you mentioned the project we have for Transine, and I believe that the target there is much wider than the space sector.
Yes, so definitely our quite important investment on creating a cybersecurity center within Belgium is not only for the space sector. Of course, what we developed and we will develop in space is an important part from a cybersecurity portfolio perspective, but the general target for our division is much broader. So critical infrastructure for sure, but not only critical infrastructure. Also, we aim and we work with the commercial client, with the public administration, with the governmental agencies, and so forth. So space is definitely the place where we developed and we will develop technologies and competencies, because it's a critical sector. It's very tight now with cybersecurity, so it's a very good place where to learn, where to grow. But also all the critical infrastructure, and in particular we aim at healthcare, railways, so transportation if you want, and including maritime and defense. Those are the areas where we are looking at. Energy, of course, telecommunication, etc. So we are really looking at a broad scope with the preference on critical infrastructure, but absolutely we will have, and we are having right now also commercial clients, a little bit more on the traditional aspect. Yes.
Okay, thanks, Matteo. Next question we have, I'll start with Jiri. So I'm currently transiting from electronics to cybersecurity, so that's good. But located in Dubai, does RHEA offer jobs 100% remote?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part of your question.
So does RHEA offer jobs which are 100% remote? So rather than hybrid, 100% off-site or away from a RHEA office?
We do. From time to time, we have 100% remote jobs. What I've experienced here in RHEA was mostly software engineering roles. I wouldn't say cybersecurity. We didn't. I don't think, Matteo can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we haven't hired anyone who could work 100% remotely on a cybersecurity project.
Matteo?
Generally, no. I think we may have some few profiles, yes, but with very frequent travels. So there may be the cases, especially during the pandemic. I completely agree. Several more software development related profiles, and I need to make a little bit of a parenthesis here. The engineering and products department that I was talking before, of course, we have a huge set of software engineers, software architect, QA, software QA expert, etc., because we build the products and solution. So in these cases, we have several people on remote, and that's absolutely viable. From a cybersecurity perspective, generally, we tend to have people in driving distance from our centers, and the reason is that frequent travels may be needed. Maybe you need to go to the customer, maybe need to meet the people, etc. But I think each situation can be discussed, especially if the time zone allows a direct, more or less direct collaboration.
Yeah, I guess the other thing to mention to the person who wrote this question is that we are expanding our customer base continuously, so don't discount any location for the time being. So if you're interested, please contact Jiri or look at our careers website. Right, let's see. Another question. Is learning and development being supported at RHEA Group for employees to enhance skills on the job? So rather than give the recruitment or the management view, I'll start with Rafael. So in terms of your development and learning, how has that progressed within RHEA?
So because you have job rotation, it's easy to understand that you can learn touch different programs, do different things, different tasks, so you can learn from the job itself. And I think this question is also about the trainings that RHEA can provide to you. And yes, if you request, you talk with your manager, it's very easy. Of course, there is a limit, more or less, in the budget, but you can do like CompTIA courses. For example, at the moment, I'm trying to improve my French, which I requested to my to my manager, because the client it's mainly in France. So yes,
Okay, good.
they support.
And Consuelo, your experience of developing your career in terms of career development, learning, etc. within RHEA?
Yes, I think it's a very strong point, this, because you have the opportunity each year within the context of the performance review to agree the next step of your learning, doing some specific certification that enhance your skill towards a specific direction, always agreed with your personal inclination, interests, and the company needs. So this is very important to find a place also that will allow you to bloom through the learning.
Okay, thank you, Consuelo. Jiri, Matteo, anything to add?
Well, if I may, basically from the recruitment perspective, when I speak to candidates, most of them are asking for this. And I can confirm that each unit and business unit and department has a budget for the learning and development. It just has to serve the purpose. It has to be justified regarding the role. But yes, we are very keen on to have our people, upskilled.
Fantastic. Okay, so maybe I'll stay with you, Jiri, for this next question. So how does RHEA support a healthy work-life balance from an employee perspective?
The health and what was the question?
So
the balance?
A healthy work-life balance. How do we support that?
Yeah, we do provide with a great amount of vacation days to start with. We provide with 25 days of vacation, and plus you get every year you work for RHEA, you get additional day up till 30 days. There's lots of public holidays as well. We do have 2 main events per year, one in June, one in December, to get together with all the colleagues to have fun. And there are lots of mini dinners, etc. So we have a lot of social life after the work. But in terms of the health, of course, we are always aware of our employees. We are always asking how they feel, and I haven't seen any issue with that.
So Consuelo, do you have time to have hobbies?
Yes, I've done several hobbies, and I have time also because I have some organizational skills. But in general, in RHEA, there is a good work-life balance. I think because in general there is like a ground of trust, so that the company trusts on you. To make your own schedule, and where it is needed in special situation you are available. And in general, I think that to have this, it is needed mutual trust and recognition.
Yeah. Rafael, anything to add to that one? You have time to do things in your spare time besides traveling between all these?
Basically, my hobbies are playing with my kid. I have 1 year kid, nice. And my personal experience, just I became a father last year, and I was able, to still work, play with my kid, take care of the kid. Yeah. So.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. The next question, I'll start with Matteo, actually. So again, related to the Transine project. So it's the question is, except for a SOC analyst, are there other roles foreseen in Transine? within the new or the future center?
Yes, so we are building right now the hiring plan for the second half of the next year, and absolutely there is a space for quite a lot of things. So we are and we will be searching for project managers, both on the delivery side, both on the research innovation side. We will be searching for software engineers, software architect, and quality assurance engineers. We will be searching for risk analysts and security analysts for sure. We will be searching, of course, for security operation analysts, principally tier 2 and tier 3. And we will be also searching for salesperson, of course, because we need to expand also that aspect. So I would say quite a broad set of people that we are going to hire for the new organization and the new investment. Plus, of course, in the local area, we will be searching for people working directly in the building for the maintenance, etc. So yes, it's going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be pretty tough for Jiri and his team, because we will really need quite a lot of people. It's very ambitious.
So Jiri, are you preparing for all this now?
Yes, of course, John. It's a good question. We have been building a talent pool since 2 years ago for SOC analysts. So we have a good amount of professionals, but of course we need new ones too, because as you know, people are very busy changing jobs these days, and the market went really up with the demand for SOC analysts, especially. So we had to be on our best, and when we're attracting people, basically through various channels, and we are getting in touch with everyone. We're talking to everyone. We're saving the notes and the CVs, and we are waiting for the right moment to contact them back. And candidates, on the other hand, are happy they have something, so they can rely on us. They will come back and let them know what the situation is. But as I mentioned, we have so many roles that even though despite, like, if the SOC role doesn't come around, we have so many other roles that there's always something we can satisfy the candidate with.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'll move to the next question, which I'll start with, which is, what is the headcount today within RHEA Group, and how is it growing? Well, I'll start with that one, because when I've been with RHEA for now for almost 5 years. Well, 5 years. And when I joined RHEA, we were about 350 people. We're now way over 750, I believe. So we're growing. We've grown substantially, and we're still growing very rapidly, around 20% per year. And in fact, some of the biggest growth has come from our security team. Matteo, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yep. So basically, as I was saying, we started in the end of 2013, but in reality, the team, I was the only member of the team for most of 2014. In 2016, we were around 15, 16 people. And then there was really a huge growth, because now we are around one tenth of the company, around 75 people in 11 countries. So really, in the moment in which we started focusing on business lines, services, etc., then things really exploded. So in the past, only during the pandemic, we hired more than 25 people. So wow. Just in less than 2 years from now, let's say, from 5 months into the pandemic up to now. So really growing pretty fast. Of course, the sector, the domain is growing. There is a huge demand from multiple critical sectors. We have quite a good pool of expertise, and we are also very ambitious. So that was a good combination of things.
Okay, thank you, Matteo. So the next question, actually, I will leave with Matteo to start with. So I'm in Belgium, and I'm interested in a new cybersecurity center in Transine. When will the recruitment start, Matteo?
It's already started. So if you go in our website, there are already, as I think Jiri was mentioning, 17 cybersecurity positions. Not all of them are for the new center, but a good deal of them are already for that. The center is being built physically now, but from a service delivery perspective, it's already in place. So we already started delivering the things. It's basically the transition from what the old RHEA Cybersecurity division up to the new organization. The building will be ready in the middle of next year. Then we will physically transfer their data center, SOC, cyber range, training center, everything. But in terms of services, it's already open, and the position are already open, and you will see many other of them in the next 2-3 months.
Okay, thanks, Matteo. And Jiri, any advice to any individual who is interested in looking at a career within the new cybersecurity center? Let's say even if there are roles not yet available.
Yes, definitely, John. You can apply through our Carrier's website. We get all the applicants in one inbox, and then we're categorizing according to the skills. And then the particular recruiter or sourcer, talent sourcer, picks up the phone, calls the candidate, takes the notes, and we're all, I mean, we exchange information. And if the role is the right one, we go for the interview process. And if not, we just keep the person in the database, and we keep each other informed, like on a frequent basis. But what I would advise, apply now, it's already time, and we'll get back to you.
Okay, thanks, Jiri. And maybe I think we've answered part of this already, but are your jobs hybrid or work from home? Is there a possibility in this industry to work from home abroad sometimes during the year? Would you answer that one, Jiri?
Sorry, can you repeat the last part? I didn't hear.
Yeah, is it possible to work from home abroad sometimes during the year? So I guess this is a question around.
That's a tricky question.
Can you work from home, or can you be away and working from away as well?
I'm sure Matteo will correct me if I'm wrong again, but it's a tricky question. We do want people, especially for this new project and for the SOC, to be on site, to be within the driving distance. Of course, we're okay with a few weeks here and there being away, working remote, but it really depends on also on the content, on what they're working on, whether it's classified or not, whether they can really be away in case of the emergency happens. So, but we're preferring now people to be living in Belgium or close, but particular, I mean, the exceptions can be discussed always. I mean, we can always find a way, and we're very flexible in those discussions, I can tell.
Matteo, would you like to add to that?
No, I think Jiri perfectly got it. Of course, okay. The center being in Transin, there will be for at least a set of positions some preference to have someone that can reach the place some days per week or some days per month, etc. Especially the one working with the classified information. Of course, the site will be fully classified, and that, of course, cannot be avoided. For some other positions, and I would say quite a huge deal, if there is the availability to travel, because seeing each other is always very important, definitely things can be absolutely discussed.
Yeah, okay, so the answer that the person who posed that question is if there is something that interests you here, please contact our recruitment team and they can discuss your particular circumstances directly with you. I mean, Consuelo, you've had experience of hybrid working yourself. How has that worked with RHEA?
Yes, now from next month we will have a smoothie policy about hybrid work, and in general I think it is good also to keep bonds with the other colleagues, and as we were mentioning before, perhaps it depends only a lot on your specific typical day, because perhaps there are other other colleagues that are always in call. Also, it is better if they are in presence, or otherwise, if as me, I am working mostly with abroad people. Perhaps it's only for my personal wellness, going sometime also to the office. But in general, it depends on your specific personality, and also in this we have the possibility to make agreements with the company for this.
Yeah, and Rafael, I guess in your circumstance, it's largely being a SOC analyst, you largely have to be on site. Is that correct?
Especially, well, if you are going to the client, indeed, there is no other way, because like Matteo said, that will be in Transin mostly. The security facilities that you have there, like for example, working in a Faraday's cage, you cannot.
Yeah,
you cannot do it other way, because it's not connected to internet. So
yeah, okay, yeah.
But for RHEA, sometimes yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Rafael. Okay, so I'm not clear on this one, but I think the question is around how open and transparent are RHEA for horizontal and vertical movements within the group. So in other words, I guess promotions and movements into other geographic locations. Matteo, do you want to try that one to start with?
Yeah.
Well,
I can give also a little bit of an example, which is directly my career in the company. So when I joined at the end of 2013, I joined as a software architect, and then I grew as a project manager, as a deputy lead of the division, and then as a director. So that was quite a vertical growth, I have to say, and it was always very transparent in the sense that I was always being given the possibility to grow, and I was never stopped during the growth. And that's from a vertical perspective. From an horizontal perspective, we tried to foster eventually changes in the role of the person. I mean, if there is an interest on other topics, or if there is an interest on joining another unit, that's absolutely possible. Generally, I must say that most of the people wants to join our division instead of the contrary, because it's generally is innovative and is state of the art. So I have to say that several of the people that I have in the team are coming from other division, and also that was absolutely possible. But in general, there are possibilities to grow. If there is ambition to grow, of course, there are possibilities also to change the direction in case something is more interesting somewhere else. And generally, there is a good relationship, a direct relationship with the line manager, so the possibility to talk and to ask, and then on the proper time to get what is wanted, basically.
Yeah.
So in this sense, I think it works pretty well.
Okay, thanks, Matteo. We have time for just one more question, and it's here. Is it possible to work for RHEA as an external consultant? I assume that means as a freelance consultant. Jiri?
Again, good question. Really depends on what country you're working from. There are some legal restrictions. Okay, short answer. If you are, let's say, in software engineering industry, you can work as a freelancer. There's usually an amount of hours you can, designate in advance. But if you want to work as external consultant, for example, for one of the cybersecurity projects, it's possible, but you got to have your own company. So it's called contractor versus freelancer. So yeah, that's the answer.
So it's more of a subcontract relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it depends on the country. So the person who asks that question, best way to deal with that is contact Jiri directly. And just coming to the end of this webinar. So many thanks to the panel. Many thanks to you who stayed through and hopefully enjoyed this discussion. If you'd like further information, please visit our website, www.rheagroup.com. There is a careers page explicitly there, as we mentioned, an explicit page for careers in cyber. So we hope you enjoyed this webinar and hope to see you again on future RHEA Talks. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.